From the time of the Greek scholars Socrates, Plato and Aristotle, more than 2,600 years ago, mankind has been on a never-ending quest to find answers to the most vital, fundamental questions of our lives. Questions about the universe. What is it? And more importantly, why does it exist? Questions about our planet, our world, and the phenomenal, almost unimaginable way in which it has created life. And again, why? Questions about us, about human existence. Who are we? What are we? How do we think? Why do we think? Are we simply part of the universal physical matter, or do our minds make us independent of it? Are our minds, our thoughts and ideas, independent of our physical bodies? And what is mind anyway? And for that matter, what is matter? Are the fundamental values and ethics we believe in genetic, immutable, or are they contrived by us for our own subjective purposes in life? Is the world of matter about us the only reality we can experience?
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Or is there another, more conceptual, more metaphysical, and relatively imperishable reality in which our thoughts, ideals and dreams reside? That's the one important thing that Plato decided all those centuries ago, that our world is made up of not one, but two realities, one physical and the other metaphysical. And ever since then, generations of philosophers have investigated, studied and debated this concept as part of a vastly wider compendium of mysteries encompassing the most fundamental mystery of all, human existence. And what this intense debate inevitably boils down to is the question that the controversial British philosopher Cyril Joad powerfully articulated back in the 1940s. Joad asked, is the human mind a fundamental feature of the universe, a key to the interpretation of the rest? Or is it a mere accident, an eddy in the primeval slime, doomed one day to finish its pointless journey with as little significance as it once began it? So what is this thing called philosophy, which asks such disturbing, unanswerable questions like that? It's in fact one of three disciplines which have traditionally studied the physical world and mankind's relation to it. Science is one of them. But science asks what things are and how they exist or work, and demands solid proof of everything. In other words, how, but not why. Theology is the second force, but it invariably applies its own religious dogma to the mysteries of existence and demands that we believe what it says, without question. Of the three, philosophy is the only discipline which asks why. Why we exist, why we are the way we are, indeed, why everything about us. Some call philosophy the science of the soul. To others, it's the soul itself. Whatever, it's produced a steady stream of giant intellects over the centuries, profound thinkers who've brought sharp focus or clarity, if nothing else, to the key mysteries of human existence. Plato, for instance, declared there's far more to existence than what we regard as the sole reality about us. There's another reality, he said, another realm, populated by ideas. Much later, Bishop George Berkeley maintained that this idealistic realm is not just the sole reality at all, but that everything else is something we concoct ourselves, a dream. The French philosopher René Descartes, regarded as the father of modern philosophy, gave us a milestone definition of self and the independence of mind from body with his celebrated declaration, "I think, therefore I am." Jean-Jacques Rousseau famously dismissed the concept of original sin with his insistence that man is naturally good and only by institutions is he made bad. Georges Hegel maintained that perfect free will or perfect freedom is nonetheless a state in which all people realize their moral obligations to each other. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that all people are governed by a restless, churning, all-powerful will, but not individual wills, rather that we are all part of a vast single will that pervades the entire universe. These are just some of the giants of philosophical thought, and there are many, many more. And at Philo Orange, Philosophy in Orange, we try to discuss their thoughts and conclusions in association with the key down-to-earth issues of our ordinary lives. We call it kitchen sink philosophy, reducing the often heavy academic conceptual debate of philosophy to the everyday thoughts and actions of ordinary human beings. As one of the leading philosophers of our present time, Brian McGee, tells us, "What I'm trying to understand is the world in which I find myself. I read the great philosophers because they enlighten me about what I'm trying to understand, often giving me insights of enormous depth that I could not have arrived at without them. But in the final analysis," McGee says, "what matters to me is not what they believe, but what I believe. So I treat them not as objects of study in their own right, as a scholar would, but as life-enhancing companions and guides, shipmates, cannier than I am, in a voyage of discovery on which we are all embarked." Come join us at Philosophy in Orange. Come with us on our own unending voyage of discovery.